Star Wars Squadrons is relatively deep with complex mechanics that are unique to this game, like power management and boost drifting. However, there are even more secret systems hidden just beneath the surface waiting to be taken advantage of. What's up, you guys? I'm not amazing, I'm just mediocre, and I'm here today to talk to you about dead drifting. The drifting technique loved by pro players that allows you to literally strafe in your starfighter. At the moment, it's a little bit controversial because aim assist around drifting is a bit broken, and the defender in particular can take serious advantage of dead drifting's capabilities. But there are many reasons to use it beyond just making yourself a difficult target. It's actually an expert level form of power management and something all players should be striving to master. But before we get into that, we're going to talk about the big difference between regular drifting and dead drifting. So when you're doing a regular drift maneuver, you have all power into engines, you've charged up your boost meter, you hit your boost and you hold your boost button again in order to perform your drift, and you get a nice tight ability to corner. And this is useful for dodging enemies that are on your tail or getting your own sights trained on somebody who is a squirrely target. But in order to dead drift, it's actually pretty simple. You charge up that boost meter, but then you put your power into a different system. You take it out of engines and overcharge something else. And when you do a boost drift while you have your power into a different system, you actually continue flying the direction you initially started boosting, and you can aim yourself any which direction you want to. And this is really useful for doing some awesome strafing attack runs. Once you start getting used to this new form of strafe drifting around your targets, it'll completely change the way you assault enemy capital ships. But dead drifting is far more useful than just being able to fly sideways and shoot at things that are behind you. The real strength of dead drifting, in my opinion, lies in your ability to abuse power management while you're dead drifting, and giving you advantages that no other player would have unless they're also abusing the dead drifting mechanic. Remember that in order to dead drift, you have to take the power out of your engines and put it into another system. And this is best exemplified when you're in the defender. Watch here, I just spawned, I got some boost right at the start of the game, and then I'm able to use that boost to dead drift straight out into the middle of battle while also overcharging my shields and my lasers at the same time. This is something you should be doing at the start of every game to come to that first battle with health and firepower advantages, but you also want to be abusing it throughout the rest of the match. The general idea would go is you build up your boost meter before you make your attack run, and then you start using that strafing dead drift in order to get over there. So I had my power into my laser systems in order to be hitting that target with those overcharged lasers, doing that extra damage, and I'm able to get several swipes in on this frigate before anybody starts to attack me, notice me. But then as soon as that starts to happen, I built up my boost meter again, and I can start boosting away, and instead of putting my power to my lasers, I'll put that power over into my shields while I'm abusing the dead drift, flying all over the place, regaining all my shields back, getting those fully overcharged, and I'm even able to flip over to my lasers, get those overcharged as well before needing to charge up more boost and start dead drifting away again. I am still getting used to this in terms of constantly flipping the power back and forth. So you're definitely going to see some times on the screen that are suboptimal in terms of power management. I slowed down right there. I wasn't doing as good a power management as I could, but I'm still able to use that dead drift to get away, totally recharge my shields again, once again totally recharge my lasers, come in here still hitting this objective, and I haven't died a single time yet. Don't be fooled by all this defender footage either. This is a mechanic that you can take advantage of no matter which starfighter you have equipped. It does tend to work better in the faster starfighters like the Interceptor you see me using here. The fighters don't get as much dead drift, the bombers get the least, but the support class get a surprisingly large amount of dead drift from their boost drifting. So feel free to try this out with every single starfighter that you may or may not be using in battle. It's useful no matter what you're using, and I find it especially useful for having to counter those defenders. The best way to keep up with a dead drifter, both in terms of their maneuverability and the firepower and health that they can put out, is to become a dead drifter yourself. Now, I did mention earlier in this video that the aim assist around drifting in general is a little bit broken, and we did get information. For the devs spoke out on Twitter that the patch should be coming out this week. So hopefully we can look forward to some buffs, nerfs, and exploit fixes, but with all that said, death drifting is still a technique you should strive to master. Even though the aim assist is broken, the mechanic itself is still a built-in feature of the game and something that all the pros use. Speaking of the pros, if you didn't watch them competing in the Calrissian Cup this weekend, you missed out. It was the most intense Squadrons gameplay I've ever seen, and I'm going to be making a video here soon bringing you the 10 tips and tricks that I learned just from watching those guys play. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell if you want to see that video when it drops. In the meantime, I'm not amazing, I'm just mediocre, and I'm out.